Morrison may currently be one of the best world boss heroes in Last War, and I don't mean only for aircraft players. So there's a new formation for the tank world boss that looks promising, and I think it's the new meta. So if we go to code 87, so this is 64 today, but yesterday was code 87, the tank world boss. When we were in season, I got my highest damage of 22.2. However, out of season, damage goes down. And you'll notice that my damage has been hovering around 19, 18 even, using Diva, which my Diva is decked out. My Diva is my best hero by far. So I've been using Diva instead of Swift or Tesla. You can see here, I've even tried Tesla, who's also stronger for me than Swift, and I still haven't done that much better. So when we go into this, in World Boss, remember, we don't typically use traditional defensive heroes. We don't use Murphy and we don't use Williams. Some people do. However, the point of World Boss is to get the most damage. So we want our damage dealers and we want anybody who's going to increase our damage. So we don't really need a balanced team. We just need damage dealers and somebody who's going to amplify our damage. So that's why we always include Marshall. Marshall is there to amplify our damage. He amplifies the attack and the cooldown for every damage dealer around him. Kimberly and Stetmann are also providing primary tank damage, and then Mason returns to the lineup because of his PvE specialization. So if we go to Mason and we look at his skills, so of course he does great damage, but he boosts the back row tank heroes damage versus monsters by 25%. So we always want to make sure we have Mason in our world boss damage squad for tank heroes only. Then we have Morrison. So let's go to Morrison and look at his skills. So this skill number 1 says, after the skill is released, fires a devastation shell at the enemy with the highest current HP, dealing HP percent damage equal to 10% of the target's current HP. So think about it. A world boss has a huge HP value. I mean, that's got to be pretty significant, right? Look at this other skill. For every 5 auto attacks performed, Morrison fires, again, a devastation shell at the enemy with the highest current HP, dealing HP damage equal to 3% of the target's current HP. So as long as the target has a high level of HP, Morrison is dominating the damage output. And so if we look at our world boss damage, you'll notice that when I added Morris in, I started getting in, at least 1 billion higher than when I was with Diva. So looking at the statistics, you can see that now Morrison is doing a ton of damage in addition to Kim and Stetmann and Mason. Versus before, my Diva was doing okay, but not anywhere near the level that Morrison has been doing. So you can see that the team has been performing better when you introduce Morrison into the squad. He deals physical damage, he has armor piercing and defense reduction utility, which is particularly effective against tank type targets. But because he's also weakening the target's defenses, he may also improve the effective damage produced by the rest of the formation. So let's go to the best one that I got, which was this one. So Kim did 7.4, Stetmann did 4.6, Mason 3.3, and Morrison 2.9. Let's go to my best Diva one. So 7.4. So Mason got boosted a little bit. Stetmann 4.6. Also Marshall was boosted a little bit. So Stetmann got pretty much the same. Marshall did better. Morrison did better, and so did Mason. Now, some of you might be thinking, is Morrison strong enough to compensate for losing the full 5 tank formation bonus? So when you add all 5 tanks instead of Morrison, right, you get that extra 5%. So on paper, this kind of seems like a bad trade. Replacing 1 tank hero with Morrison reduces that bonus. But if Morrison deals substantially more damage than the hero he replaces, and especially if his abilities allow Kimberly, Stetmann, or Mason to deal more effective damage, the mixed formation can still win decisively. So the proposed formation is this. This is the proposed meta formation for the tank world boss. Marshall provides the team-wide amplification, Morrison contributes physical damage, as well as that HP damage that he's doing. Kimberly remains the principal tank carry. Stetmann provides sustained damage, and Mason brings his specialized PvE output. Now, this isn't necessarily the best formation for every account, right? My Morrison is level 30. So if we go to my heroes, I have, Morrison's level 30 exclusive hero. His skills are all maxed. He's got great gear. That might not be your case, but you might still try it. Because you can hit the world boss as many times as you want, you could try this out and see if it works for you. I was using Tesla forever. Many people use Swift. I then switched to Diva once Diva got the awakening because she just was performing way better than any of my other heroes. And now that I've been using Morrison, I've been getting way better damage output. So test him, see if he works. I know some people use Williams and have had success. The same lineup, but instead of Morrison, you would have Williams in that spot because you're getting that extra 5% buff to your entire team. But if Williams is not fully upgraded, I would try Morrison and see if that works. Remember, this isn't for PvP. Your normal PvP squad, right? Player versus player is not your best world boss squad. So even if you're looking at what I have for PvP, it's nothing near what I'm using for world boss because I'm trying to maximize my damage output and I don't need any defenders because the world boss isn't attacking me. So you may discover by using Morrison that one of your best heroes for the tank world boss is actually not a tank. Check it out. Let me know what you think in the comments below.